boys and girls. I hope everybody enjoyed their Cinco de Mayo. Today is May the 7th, 2020. Today is Thursday. We've been in this month for 7 days, and May is the 5th month of the year. We're in the season of spring. It's sunny and kind of partly cloudy outside, but it's still hot. Yesterday was Wednesday, today is Thursday, and tomorrow will be Friday. Boys and girls, we've been focusing on telling about books. Last week we focused on 1 through 5, and let's just discuss briefly 6 through 10. When we're reading a book, these are some things that you can ask yourself. Which part of the story did you like best, or do you like best? How do you feel about the end of the story? Did you like how it ended? What do you remember most about the story? Do you think others would like to read this book? Why or why not? And the last one, would you read another book by this particular author? Why or why not? Now we're going on to meet with the teacher. And we've been talking the last couple of weeks about phonics and those tricky vowel sounds. The last time that we spoke on Tuesday, we talked about that long I sound, that IE that you find in pie and tie. Did you find any words or any of these tricky vowels as you read your story? I hope that you did. Now we're going to talk about our high frequency words. And our high frequency words for this week are am, out, and we, which are in red for our kindergarten, 5, right, and in, which are in blue for our first grade. I'm going to say them, you're going to spell them, and then we're going to say them together. Am, out, out. We, very good. Let's go on, first grade. 5. And did you know that cinco means 5 in Spanish? Right. Very good. And this is the right when you're writing on paper. And. Very good. For our reading comprehension this week, we're talking about theme, a lesson learned, or something that was taught. And we use the evidence from our actual wording from the paper or from the actual story to find out if it was actually something that we needed to remember or that we could take on in our own lives. So evidence, finding some proof. And these are your vocabulary words. Breathe, cure, accept, hiccups. For science this week, we're going to be talking about how to conserve natural resources. And I want you to give me examples of different resources that we can conserve. Conserving resources are things like our water and our air and our soil and our minerals and different things like that. So boys and girls, think about things around your neighborhood or in your house that you want to conserve our natural resources, or how we can conserve natural resources. Math, we were talking about finding the results unknown by joining numbers, and this today we're going to be talking about more in detail about to separate numbers and find the results unknown. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit more of the story to you and see what you thought about it. Hiccups for Elephant by James Preller. When we left off, Chimp had suggested to Elephant, you guessed it, to eat a banana and stand on his head. Well, let's see what happened. Elephant gave it a try. Kaboom! It only made him dizzy, and he fell. But the hiccups didn't go away. Lion woke up with a snarl on his face, but he had a suggestion. I can cure those hiccups, Lion said. Drink lots of water very fast. I'm not going to tell you the ending if you haven't seen it yet, so I'm going to let you explore, okay? Now, boys and girls, let's go over to our math. And with our math, boys and girls, we were talking about joining numbers and all those different words that mean to join. And now we're going to be talking about separating numbers. All these words mean to separate. Take away, subtract, difference, minus, less, and counting back. But before we begin with our results unknown for separating numbers, let's review our clock real quickly. Remember, Miss Brown said this was the analog clock. It's a face clock. And on our clock, we have numbers and hands. The short hand represents the hours. The long hand represents the minutes. There's also another hand that's located on the clock, but it's not on this clock. It's called the second hand, and it ticks very fast around the clock to tell us the number of seconds. Remember Ms. Brown told everybody to learn how to count by fives? It will help you in your daily activities when you're telling the time with an analog clock. This number represents 5, and 2 is 10, and 3 is 15, and so forth and so on. Can anybody guess what time it is on the clock right now? Remember, we always say the hour first, and our hour hand is on what number? You guessed it, 7. And we always say the minutes last. And our hand is on what? The 6. But 6, we're counting by what? 5. So that's 30. So our answer is 7:30. How many people got that right? Give yourself a pat on the back. So remember, when you're using a clock, a face clock, you're counting by ones, the little lines between, and we count by fives. Very good. Let's go on to our math word problems. Separate results unknown. This is from my kindergarten. Some kids were on the playground. 6 decided to go home. What was the total number of kids left on the playground if they started with 8? This is our equation. We know we started with 8, and we know that 6 left. But we don't know how many went home yet. Well, we start with our number line. That's a way to solve it. We have number bonds to solve it. We can draw a picture, and then we can come up with our answer in a sentence. Well, let's look at it. We started at 0, and we went all the way to 8. What number did started on the playground? 8. So we're going to count back 6 spaces. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What number did it land on? It landed on the number 2. So how many kids were left on the playground if 6 went home? 2. Very good, boys and girls. With our number bond, we have the total at the bottom, and we had 6. We had 6, and we took away the 6 from from the 8, and we had 2. And our answer, our number sentence, or our answer that we would put in a sentence is, there are 2 kids left on the playground. Very good, boys and girls. So we learned 2 strategies for solving that. A number bond and a number line. First grade, this is your problem. Math word problem, separate results unknown. We don't know what the answer is. We're going to find out. Bobby had some shirts. He gave 8 away because they were too small. How many shirts does Bobby have left if he started with 15? Well, 15, we know he started with 15. He gave away 8, but this is the result unknown. We don't know yet. Again, we start with the number line to try to solve it. We have a number bond, and we have a picture, and then we have our actual answer in a sentence. So we start at 15, and we're going to count backwards 8 places. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What did we land? We landed on the 7. So the number unknown, or the answer unknown, was 7. So started with our big number 15, take away 8 would give us 7. So Bobby had 7 shirts left. And if we did it in a picture, we could do it the same way. And I'm going to show you real quickly by using a pen or a marker. So we had 15, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if we did it like that and took it away, it leaves us with 7. I know this is challenging, boys and girls, but Ms. Brown is trying to prepare you for your STAR test that's coming up in another year. You're going on to 2nd grade, 1st grade. So we're going to do something real quick. many do you see? I see 6. So if I have 6 and I went to the store and I bought 2 more bananas, how many would I have? We don't know yet. It's a number unknown. So if we have 2 and we had 6, how many would it be? You think of it, you do it at home, and I'm going to do it real quick. So 6, and we're looking for the number unknown. And we bought 2 more. Did you get it right? The answer is what? 8. Very good. And it's the same difference if we said it was 8 and we took away 2. And how many will we have left? Number unknown. Well, let's do it real quickly. 8, we take away 2 bananas or our apples. And what's the number unknown? Let's try it real quick. It would be 6. So boys and girls, I want you to play around with it a little bit. Get you a penny bag. Get you a penny bag with 20 pennies for first grade. And in kindergarten, you get 10 pennies. And play around with numbers unknown. Okay, boys and girls, that's our math lesson for today. I hope that you understood and enjoyed. Remember, take your time, do your work, heading on your paper, first name, last name, title, and do not write in the margins. Have a good one. Bye.